Alright, so I decided to make another video. So today's topic is going to be about Alberta independence. So I hope to provide maybe a little bit of context to people who aren't in Alberta. So last night, I think we'll have to start earlier. There's been this movement called the Alberta Independence Movement. And basically what it is they need to collect enough signatures to hold a vote on a separation clause. So essentially, Alberta would separate from Canada and become the independent state of Alberta. I don't I personally think it would become the 51st state fairly quickly. I think a lot of experts do too, considering. Anyway, I'm getting ahead of myself. I want to just tell you about the event. So, I was at what you down in Calgary, what they call the Big Four building. It's a Stampede building, part of the Calgary Stampede. And the first thing that and by the way, this was a signing event. So this was like a mass gathering in a big building to get people to go sign as many of these get as many get as many of these signatures as possible. And then there were some guest speakers at the end of the night. And this is a very large venue, mind you, too. So I pulled up, and the first thing that happened when I got out of the vehicle was there was a man thanking Donald Trump supporters around the world and around the globe. So I talked to this man. He was also recording like for Instagram or TikTok. He was doing some sort of a live feed. So I saw a lot of people like that. By the way, I saw like tons of people that had boom mics and their own rig setups and their own merch. Like the podcast culture is everywhere. Like if you don't get out much, like these people are definitely out in the world. But anyway, yeah, this guy was talking about thanking Donald Trump, and I'm just thinking like, uh, I mean, obviously he's into conspiracies, but like, so like, where does that Epstein thing come into play? Like, your boy is kind of all over that. So that was weird, and I talked to him, and I asked him about Minnesota. And I asked him about the killings of Alex Preddy and Renee Good, and his response was, I don't like it when people mess with law enforcement. Really? You don't like it when people mess with law enforcement? Tell me how either of those people messed with law enforcement. We not like it will ever be enough to these people, but we have all the angles, we have all the videos. Thanks in part to amazing like homebrew journalism, by the way. Your phone is very important in times like these. Anyway, I'm getting ahead of myself. I don't know what's wrong. Anyway, okay. I go into the event. I go up. I see a lot of AI generated T-shirts with things like Alberta Strong and Free, Clown Carney, as in Mark Carney. There was a lot of AI generated T-shirts. There was some American stuff. It was really weird, and it was all old white people. It was literally so many old gray hairs. Like you have not never seen this many gray hairs in one location. Maybe like at the big UCP event or the conservative convention coming up. You'll probably see a lot, probably the same amount of people there. But anyway, I just remember this like visceral moment. I saw a Muslim woman, and she was a security guard, and she was about my age. I just felt so fucking bad for her. Like she's just doing venue security for the Stampede, and she has to do this. I'm assuming. No, I take that back. I don't know that situation if this is what the type of work situation is there. But I did get the vibe like she was just like fuck, like I'm around like all these fucking racist people that hate me, and so that made me very sad, and that was a very memorable moment to me. Another thing is so I walked in there. People were just walking around. There was something really creepy right away. So there was this thing. It was just called. Is fuck. I'm sorry, guys. I should have remembered the name, but it was something like youth. like for the youth or conservatives for the youth or Alberta youth. Like it had youth in it, or young people. It was one of those words, youth or young people. But she did, I asked her about this, and I wasn't coming off like lefty coded at all. Like I so I don't know, like, if I feel like she sniffed out the lefty in me, but I could be wrong. But anyway, she just told me basically, oh, it's education for the young people, and then she just wouldn't elaborate. Education for the young people, and then she asked me to sign up on this random sheet. I'm like, fucking sign up for what? And then there was pins on the table, like RN something something. It was something True Norths, which that's kind of a dog whistle for white supremacy in Canada, by the way. Anytime you see True North bullshit. And so I found that really creepy. Then I went and got an interview with kind of the leader of this separatist party, Jeff Rath. I asked him a few questions, and I can't really get into that because there's a conflict of interest there. However, there was someone that came up, a schizophrenic man who was previously talking to him in line, and when it was my turn and I was speaking to him, conducting my interview, this schizophrenic man, or maybe not schizophrenic, but like obviously very mentally ill, going through delusions. He went and interrupted me in the interview, and someone pulled him away and got mad at him. And I felt very, very bad because you could tell he was not well, and that he was drawn to this kind of conspiratoid right-wing world like a lot of people are. And there was a lot of people like that in here. There was a lot of there was more conspiracy theorists, I feel like, than there were like normal, like your neighbor conservative, if you know what I mean. Like there was a lot, like, I'm telling you guys, like, if you're worried about Alberta independence becoming a thing, you should be, because this is how Brexit started. It started with a bunch of conservative people voting for Brexit, thinking it wouldn't actually happen, but they'd be sending a message. Oh, and then you know what? It happened, and 9 years later, like, their economy is fucked, and they have all these fucking issues. If we don't change the momentum in Alberta, start getting some fucking lefty energy, some Zoran Mamdani energy, then we're fucked. Because I'm telling you right now, there were a lot of conspiracy people. There was also a lot of regular Albertan people there. And there's a lot of cultural hegemony in Alberta with conservatism. So, I'm not trying to fearmonger, but I think this is a perfect example and a perfect time where we don't let something like this slip. We stop in its tracks. So my advice would be, go sign the Thomas Lukasiak Canadian Forever petition, and support your local Indigenous leaders. We've seen what their opinion was. We know that this is illegal under treaty law, and they are prepared to do the hard work, they've stated. So yeah, First Nations leaders, support First Nations leaders. Sign the Thomas Lukasiak Forever Canadian petition if you're an Albertan, and like, no matter who you are, you need to stay vigilant during this time. If ICE are killing white people in the streets, like a state execution style, gun straight to the head out in public, I don't know what's happening in the detention camps. I fear the worst is happening. I really, really hope that it's not, that we're not there. But it's bleak, man. It's bleak, and to the Minnesotans, stay strong, keep fighting. That's it. Just keep updated, and act accordingly.